Welcome to another episode of This Goose is Cooked, where we review books intended for our future generations. Today's book, Our Car, by J.M. Brum, illustrated by Jan Bojtlik, a Neil Porter book published by Roaring Brook Press, New York. Dad is a pretender. He knows nothing about cars and has no respect for his own car. Our Car is written through the eyes of a naive child, with his dad as they go on rides and try to work on their car along the way. The illustrator tries to make it look like the child also drew the pictures through the medium of either chalk or some sort of paint. The pictures are roughly drawn in 2D with horrible detail. The author and illustrator make it look like it's the kid's own writing in his journal, and one word on each page is randomly picked to be massive. The journal starts with the boy telling us that his family's car is red like a fire truck. The picture of the car is so bad, you could have fooled me into thinking that it was a fire truck. Hell, you could have told me it was a bobsled, or even the family dog. The child then introduces his gangly dad and starts bragging about how long his dad's legs are. That's what you're going to brag about? Okay. He says, I quote, "My dad's legs are so long, he gets into the car without opening the doors." The car looks tiny, so maybe this kid doesn't have anything else to brag about. Clearly, he can't brag about his drawing skills. Well, his massive dad has one leg in the car, clearly putting his dirty shoes all over the seats. He has no respect for this car. Not a great role model at all. I'm wondering if this car is such a beater that the doors don't work. If you haven't figured it out yet, the car is a convertible. The kid claims, I quote, "The wind tickles us as we ride." Well, that's one way to put it. As they ride, it starts to rain. This dad is an absolute fool. He didn't bother to check the weather before he left, or at least bother to look up and see rain clouds. This car is such a shitbox. They put the roof up, but there's no windshield, and they're completely exposed to the elements, just destroying the interior of this car. This dad has no business being around cars. He's got his son in the car, and the car jacked up way too high on this tiny flimsy jack, with both back tires off of the car, trying to put winter tires on a tiny convertible that has no business being driven in the snow. This guy even puts a mobile home trailer on the back of this car. Then he thinks it's a smart idea to let his kid fly a kite in the car while they drive. What if that thing goes haywire and lands on another car's windshield, blinding another driver, or wraps itself around the dad's neck, or gets caught on a bridge and the kid doesn't let go and yanks the kid clear out of the car? Well, the journal goes on, and the oblivious dad runs out of gas, and they have to get out of the car and push it. The car then breaks down after they get it back up and running, and is making horrible noises that no engine should ever make. I wonder what this dad did this time. The dad at least wisely takes it to a mechanic to look at it. So the boy and the dad are relegated to taking the crowded, hot, sweaty, stinky bus, and you can see them hanging their heads out the window, gasping for air. When the dad gets his car back, he finally decides to treat the car correctly and give it a wash. At the end of the journal, the boy gives you a good scare. When the boy says, I quote, "Today I get to drive." It's super believable that this child would get a chance to drive, because his dad has been so ignorant the whole time, but it turns out the boy is just pretending in his own house. I don't like how bad of a role model the father is throughout this journal, and the one random large word on each page left me scratching my head. But I give the author and illustrator credit for the creativity and making the journal seem like it was entirely created by the little boy. On a scale from 1 to 5, I'm going to give this journal a 2.7. I'll have a taste, push it around on my plate, have another bite, and think about having one more after that. This Goose is Cooked. Join us next time for another in-depth book review.